welcome you for joining me on this live. on this live. So for those that are seeing me for the first time, or you are joining this channel for the first time, my name is Patricia Abokede. I'm a child protection advocate, a developmental psychologist, a trauma recovery coach, and the founder of programs dedicated to helping individuals break from cycles of abuse, heal emotionally, and build healthy lives. All right. So, by the grace of God, I've been able to, work with some people, help some people start this journey. We have several programs we do, and this is our community where we discuss things that can help us grow, help us improve in our lifestyle, and help us to do better. So more importantly, I am somebody who understands that our childhood experiences do not stay in childhood. You know, it's our childhood experiences follows us into adulthood. It shapes how we see ourselves. Our childhood experiences shapes how we love ourselves, love people around us. It shapes how we trust. It shapes how we um even how we live. All right. So many people don't understand the impact childhood experiences have in life, and childhood experiences are very important because that is the foundation of our life. So this program will be talking about different childhood experiences, how childhood trauma or childhood experiences can affect us. We're going to be talking about parenting. I'm going to be talking about family life. We're going to be talking about you as an individual and how we can improve as a person. And you know that once we improve as an individual, our community will get better and the world will get better. So many people we see, or some of the challenges we face in life, in marriages, in workplaces, in the community, maybe as a result of childhood experiences, and that is what we are going to be throwing light into today. So from in this program. So today we are going to be talking about something many people feel, but they don't know how to explain it, and that is how childhood trauma affects you in adulthood. How childhood trauma, the things we experience as children, the trauma we experience, sometimes we don't even know we had those experiences, or we didn't know that those experiences are what are shaping our our present life. So we are looking into that. So this session is going to be calm. I'll try my best to be as calm as possible. To be honest, and it's going to open your eyes to a lot of things. And I want to set an expectation here, in case you find yourself in what I'm talking about. I'm not here or to come and blame any parent. No, we're not here to blame parents, and we're not here to arouse anger or start or make anybody feel uncomfortable. We are going to be discussing things that we need to know as individuals and see how we can improve our lives, because you can actually you can't heal what you don't understand. Healing starts from awareness, and it's good that as individuals we understand the foundation of issues so that we can know how to deal with them. All right. Before we continue, so I want you to let me know where you are connecting me from. So let me know where you are connecting from. Kindly put on the comment section where are you connecting from. Okay. And if you are ready to go on this journey with me today, so go to the comment section and type I am ready. Go and type I am ready. I believe the comment is active. So I want to know where you're connecting from, and I also want to know if you're ready to go on this journey with me. So I'm talking from Nigeria, Ibadan precisely, and I'm talking to you from Nigeria, Ibadan. All right. So I don't know if you've been to Ibadan before, or if you are familiar with Nigeria. Of course, Nigeria is on the map. All right, Nigeria is everywhere. So I'm connecting from the largest African country, and well, maybe one of the largest. Okay, so let's go on with this. So let us look at what childhood trauma looks like. So when we're talking about childhood trauma, we're not talking specifically about physical abuse or a very violent experience. When we talk about childhood trauma, many people think we're talking about extreme violence, like slapping, hitting, or accident or something. It's much more than that, right? Trauma is very broad, is bigger than just physical abuse. All right. Trauma is any experience in childhood that made you feel unsafe as a child. Those times that you felt unsafe, you felt you are not protected, or experiences that made you feel unseen, or experience that made you feel unheard, unprotected, unloved. Those times that you felt scared, like you can't even explain, you are not feeling loved, you are not feeling saved, you are not feeling protected. Those periods are those things that happen that time are the trauma, the effects of what happened. Trauma is not necessarily what is happening, it is the consequences of what has happened that is trauma. It could be from emotional neglect. Sometimes we have parents who are physically present, financially present, but emotionally they are not present. These experiences traumatize children. There are some parents that, or you are in an environment where you felt you were neglected, you were not, you were not feeling yourself in the midst of people. Nobody is noticing you. Those experiences could have caused trauma to a child or to you. Then in a situation where you were constantly criticized, there are some environments where you really did not do anything well. Everything you do was criticized, was condemned. Even maybe I've seen people, when I was a child, I remember I had a neighbor who the dad said, if you are coming back from school, it was during ending of term, and said, if you like, come home with anything less than first. And this lady scored third in her class, and she cried. She didn't want to go home. She said they will kill her. She was so scared to go home. Imagine a child topping the class by third grade, and she was still afraid. So she was always criticized that people who had first, they were not better than her. So some people try to really be the best, but the environment does not just appreciate them. No matter what they are doing, they are not appreciated. These experiences can cause trauma. Or it could be rejection. You just felt you are always being rejected. You are not loved as a child. Somebody told me that when she was a child, she didn't feel she was a part of the family. Everybody didn't just like her. That was her experience. And something must have caused it. Possibly they love her, but they were not showing it. So the times your child feel rejected or you felt rejected could have caused trauma. Then comparison. Parents do this a lot. Comparing a child to another child. If it was this child would have done better. If it was, those comparison, causes pain and make children feel uncomfortable. And this can cause trauma. It could be shaming, it could be fear, it could be domestic violence. Imagine a child growing up in a home where there's always fights, always violence, fighting all the time, screaming, clashing of, curses and all of those things. That child will feel unsafe, will not even know what will happen. That child is not sure if daddy will scream today, if mommy will curse today, if there will be a slap, if anything will happen. That's a very unsafe environment. This experience make children traumatizes children. Then abandonment. Now we have some cultures in Africa, I don't know if it's happening in other parts of the world, where they say the first child of the family belongs to the grandparents. And then you see couples have a child and they give to the grandparents to take care of, and those children feel abandoned, feel they are not loved. Or some families who don't plan their the number of children they want to have. They just keep having children, because they are very fertile. They keep having children, and then the burden of taking care of children becomes so overwhelming, and gradually they begin to let those children go to this uncle, go to that auntie, go to family members, and those children feel abandoned. This also causes trauma. Then emotionally unavailable parents, like I've said this earlier, some parents are they are there, they can provide the money, they can do so many things, but they are not emotionally present, and this causes trauma for children. So, and sometimes trauma may be what did not happen. I've been talking about what happened. Now, what about things that did not happen, like not being comforted? A child, felt maybe something happened. There is a way children something happened recently. The youngest child in my house, I don't know, maybe she hit her, something happened, and she was crying. While she was crying, she was looking at me. She was crying and was coming closer and looking at me, wanting me to pacify her. So imagine that experience when you felt you wanted comfort, you wanted a hug, you wanted to be seen, and you are just ignored. Everybody just did as if they didn't even notice you. You came home with first, and they said, are you the first person to have first? What's special about being the best? Or you did something amazing. You did a child that did drawing. Those days parents discouraged children that are artistic and say, what is it, you are wasting paper, you are, all of those things hurt children, and sometimes they get traumatized. Also being not protected. Recently I'm working with a lady who said when she was growing up, they had a domestic staff who was always touching her and peeping on her while she was having in the bedroom, and nobody noticed this, and she felt very unsafe during this experience growing up. And I've not really gotten all the detail, but that lady has gone through lots of traumatic experiences in her life at a very young age, and it has really affected her psychologically. So, or being, not being reassured. You wanted a reassurance that, okay, don't worry, you'll do better next time, and everybody was just talking you down, just making you feel whatever you are talking about is not important. And I want to tell you this, that this is not just my opinion. Researchers has gone on childhood trauma extensively. The largest research that was done on childhood trauma, the Adverse Childhood Experience Study, that was led by Dr. Vincent Filitti and Dr. Robert Ander. Researchers found that early childhood adversity directly affects adult mental health, adult physical health, relationship, and even life expectancy. So we focus so much on diets, exercise, on life expectancy, and some other health issues. Childhood trauma also has been proved to be one of the factors that affect adult health, that affect how people cope, wellness and well-being, how people cope with life. Because this is very important. The childhood period is the foundation of life, and is a period parents or caregivers, people who are in charge of the child care institution, should be very conversant with nurturing children, because so many people are going through things in life that we never knew that it was because of their childhood experiences. And why am I having this program is to also understand that you need to know, so that you can know how to address so many situations that are going on in your life. Okay, this study was carried out on over 17,000 people. See, that's a huge number. Numbers don't lie. And what they found out was very powerful. They found out that childhood trauma, childhood experiences shape adult outcome. Not sometimes. Now childhood experience to shape adulthood, childhood experiences shape adult outcome. Not sometimes, always, consistently. The things we experience as children, or the things our children are experiencing now, could affect them on a long term basis. So it's not just maybe sometimes, it's consistently. So a child does not need perfection. So when we are talking here now, it's not I'm not trying to say you have to be a perfect parent or you have to be the best parent. No, that's not what we are talking about. We're talking about a child needs emotional safety. A child needs reassurance that, oh, I'm safe. In the hands of the right people. And when that safety is missing, that child adapts survival. That child won't, because our brain was developed for survival. That is our number one primary work of the brain, for survival. So those survival now, when those survival mode that the child has adopted would follow that child into adulthood. And as I continue, you will see what I'm talking about. So let's all look at the most important things we need to understand here. Okay. Children do not blame their parents when they are going through experiences. Children, adults, we blame other people for our challenges, but now children would feel like it's their fault. They will blame themselves. And when a child is abused, neglected, or rejected, the child does not say, my parents failed me. They say, something must be wrong with me. And you see where low self-esteem starts from. The child does not even realize that is their fault. It's the parents' fault. They blame themselves and they begin to develop a survival mood. And that belief becomes identity. So they begin to have this I am not enough identity, I am not worthy, I am not lovable. And this is not true. It's not true. It's a learned behavior. Like we all know that every behavior we exhibit now was learned. We didn't come with any behavior. A child came empty. So everything that we are doing on earth today, you are eating, you are drinking, you are talking, you are walking, everything we learned it. Even the personality we develop eventually was learned. Not because it is true, because that was a survival tactic the brain has to just develop. And the learned behavior become internal reality for that child. This is why trauma affects adults deeply. So it's not you see why we need to understand childhood trauma, because it shapes our identity. Now let's also look at how childhood trauma shows up in adulthood now. How does it show up? You may not even realize that the way you are behaving is connected to your childhood. Now, for example, some people have difficulty trusting other people. They can't trust anybody. They can't trust. Thank you very much, Rita. So yes, it's true. I have someone going through this and felt rejected. Yes, because of the experiences the person had. Some people find it difficult to trust other people. Some people find it difficult. They feel fear of abandonment. When they're in a relationship, they'll feel like this person is going to abandon me. And then this makes them to keep sticking to a relationship that is even dangerous to their life. Some people have people-pleasing mentality. They want to please everybody. They don't want to enter into anybody's bad book, even when it is not convenient for them. Even when the situation is not convenient for them, they want to please other people against their own will. Some adults have low self-esteem. Some people have emotional triggers. Small thing like this, they blow up. I used to have that. I'm really working on that. Emotional trigger. Some people with suppressing emotion. So then to speak up, they will suppress that emotion. They will rather die silently than confronting the situation. Some people have problem choosing healthy relationship because of their childhood experience. Some people see abusive relationship as normal because they grew up in environments where it was domestic violence all their life, and they don't even know the difference between healthy relationship and unhealthy relationship. And here's something very important. The nervous system choose what is familiar. Nervous system does not know what is right, what is wrong. It chooses what is familiar. So let me give you a scenario, for example. Now, I know we are people, I know you, my audience, you are from different culture, different nationality, different race. Imagine you coming to a particular environment you have never been before, and you are offered a food you have never eaten in your life. You have never seen that food before, you have never eaten it before, and the food is not even looking, it's not looking like what you are used to. It doesn't look like vegetable, it's not looking like what you are used to. What will happen? Your mind will initially reject it. You don't want to care whether the food is sweet or not, or is delicious or not. You immediately, your mind rejects that food. That is the way nervous system behaves. It recognizes what is familiar. So if what is familiar is chaos, the nervous system identify with it and adapt to it. If what is familiar is safety, the nervous system recognizes it and adapt to safety. Now, even when, like I said, even when what is unfamiliar is painful, is dehumanizing, sometimes people who have gone through severe trauma rather stay in that environment even though they are not comfortable. Now, that is why many people repeat relationship patterns that are toxic, not because they want pain, but because the nervous system recognizes pain as normal. You see some people, you say, this person is not fine in this relationship. This relationship is toxic, and they are still there. You see them, they break up, they go back to that relationship again. Not because their mind is just trying to cope with that situation. It's not as if they like pain, but because that is the best thing that's what they are. They could be afraid of abandonment. They are afraid that if I leave this person, who is going to take me? And they are just trying to cope with the situation. And if you recognize yourself right now, I want to say this clearly. If everything I've been saying so far, you are seeing yourself in playing out in any of this. So what I want to say now, it's not your fault. Your nervous system is just trying to adapt to that situation. That's what you should do. It's not your fault. Your nervous system is trying to adapt because the nervous system is used to it. So it's trying to survive. The first assignment of the brain is to help us to survive through situation. Now, the truth is that survival is not healing. You have to know that. Surviving is different from you healing. And why I'm having this program is for you to understand that there's a place for you to heal. You need to heal. You cannot continue to live in that painful memory, childhood experience, and you need to snap out of that experience and heal. So I want to also talk about how the brain responds to trauma. Excuse me. Because everything we do, of course, is programmed in the brain. Now let me explain how the brain responds to trauma. Trauma affects the brain through the nervous system by creating the fight, the flight, the freeze, or the fawn responses, which are automatic. The automatic nervous system, they are deeply rooted in our nervous system responses to danger or trauma, designed for survival. So these responses are automatic. It's not what you can control. It's just there. So when there is a danger, or there is a trauma, or there is something that is threatening your safety or survival, the way the brain is going to react to it is either it's fight, or it's flight, or it's freeze, or it's phones. Now I'm going to explain them one after the other, and you will see that somehow we have reacted in some ways in any of this way, maybe all or one, or if maybe you would have, of course. So if what I'm saying and you are seeing yourself in it, I want you to just type, yes, I can see myself in one of these. All right, you don't have to say too much. Just I want to be sure that you are with me and I'm carrying you along. So but before I continue, I want to know if you are with me. So type on the comment section, I'm with you. Let me know if you are with me. If you are with me, just type, let me see something that okay, you are with me. So and if you're already getting value, you can invite somebody to join this discussion as well. Okay, so let's go on. So how does the brain alert using fight? Now the fight is the protection resistance. All right, the fight is protecting through resistance. So the brain attempts to confront or combat or control a threat. That is how okay, thank you very much, Oladipo. All right, thank you, Catherine. Oladipo, Catherine, thank you so much. Yes, thank you for following, and thank you, Rita, as well. So how does the brain fight? What the brain is just trying to protect you through resistance, and it wants to combat, it wants to control, it wants to confront any threat that is affecting. Thank you very much, Rita. Affecting your survival. So the signs you are going to be seeing for the fight, thank you, you can relate. Thank you so much. Yes, keep it coming. Thank you. I'm glad we are together. All right, so for a fight response, you see aggression or anger or yelling. You see why many parents yell? Because their nervous system is trying to combat something or to fight something or to just control a threatful situation. Yelling or need to be in control, or perfectionism. Yes, perfectionism attitude. So it could be as a result of childhood trauma as well, or arguing. So people can argue situation. They want to argue not because they are right, they just want to win the argument, even when they are not talking, even what they are saying, they know that that person is right, but because they are trying to prove something, just to prove that you can't win me in this argument. And that could be a nervous system response to the threat, because they feel threatened by the situation of that argument. The second one is flight. Now this flight is escaping to survive. There are sometimes something happen and you want to run. You want to run is a flight response. And what is happening here? The urge to flee or avoid danger to reach safety is the way of your nervous system protecting you. So what are the signs you are going to see if you have the flight response? Restlessness. Just be restless. There are some times that situations happen, you are restless, or you want to run away. You have panic. Some people even have panic attack. You have avoiding conflict. Some people avoid conflict. They would rather not confront that situation. They will let it slide. Even though they are not comfortable with the situation, they rather keep quiet. They will not confront it, and the situation is just there. They feel time is going to resolve it, but the pain is there. Or overworking. Perpetual busyness. Some people work hard not because they are hard working, but because they are trying to avoid a conflict. Let me give you an example. Let's say a couple who are having issues. So maybe the other person would rather stay in the office for as long as knows that the spouse is going to come back. They will sleep at maybe 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. That person will deliberately work so hard to 10 p.m. So by the time he is coming in or she is coming in, the person is tiptoeing so that they won't be able to settle the quarrel between them. It's not a healthy way of solving conflict. It's not a healthy way, because the problem is there and you're not trying to confront it. Then the third one is the freeze. This is going numb or immobile. The system becomes overwhelmed, leading to paralysis or disconnection. Now, what are the signs you are going to be seeing here? This one is feeling stuck. Has it ever happened to you before that something happened and you just went blank? You just can't process it. Your mind can't just process that situation. It's a freeze response to trauma or conflict. So it has happened. I know I think I've experienced almost all of this all of these responses. Sometimes you just go numb. You can't just imagine. People even fall sick, as in go really sick, because of their nervous system response to trauma. They go sick, they have symptoms, serious symptoms, just because their body is responding to trauma. Some people will be unable to speak, will be in this zone. This always happen when you are confronted with maybe a boss and a subordinate situation, and something happened and you were faced with a tough situation. Maybe they are speaking against you and they are not right, but you can't process it. Your mind just went blank. It happens a lot. It could be between spouses, it could be between friends. I'm like, how you won't even be able to think through it. That is the freeze response. Then the fun is appeasing to stay safe. This can also be very dangerous. Some people can be people pleaser. They want to please everybody. So in Nigeria, for example, where I stay, that's what they call ashwebi. I'm using this because it's very common. So people will spend everything they have just to please other people. They don't have food in the house. They don't even have the money. They don't mind going to borrow money because they want to be in people's rights book. Sometimes it happens in homes. Some women who are single mothers, they just want to, because they are looking for protection, even when their children are in danger. They rather tell the child, don't say anything, because if you say anything, we'll not be in this house again. Things like that. They want to please even the person that is hurting them. Some people decide to stay in a very toxic relationship because they just want to survive. A response where one attempts to avoid conflict or an assure safety by pleasing others. That is the fun way of, and the nervous system, the one they call fun. F-O, I don't know if I'm calling it right. F-A-W-N, fun. F-A-W-N. Now, signs is excessive compliance. You just say yes to everything. People who find it difficult to say no. I used to have a friend who will get insulted, she will get embarrassed. She will not say anything. She will now come into the office and be telling me, crying, that can you imagine somebody like this did something to her and she'll be crying. I have to tell her that when next that thing happens, just confront the situation, because you are feeling bad. You don't have to please people just to make them feel good when you are hurting. It's a sign that you are holding trauma in your body. Now, I've said people pleasing several times. Neglecting one's needs. Some people will neglect their own needs just because they want to please other people, or poor boundaries. Even when you are safe, some people have very, very poor boundaries. They don't know how to keep their boundaries. Lisa said, I just finished arguing with my spouse. Okay, now because of, all right, okay, that's good. It's good to, yes, yes, I understand what you're saying. Yes, it happens, and it could be a way of, so it's possible the person you're talking about would definitely need to watch this video. So there's a trauma researcher who, Dr. Basil van der Kolk, who wrote extensively about this fight, flights, and all of this. He explained that trauma is not just remembered in the mind, it is stored in the body. Trauma is stored in the body. That is why you can logically know you are safe. Now you are safe. I'm talking about what has happened in your childhood. Presently now you are safe. You're an adult. You can handle so many things, but you still feel stuck in the effect of the childhood trauma you had. So now, how do you know that your body is reacting to trauma? Anxiety. I used to have serious anxiety before, and I will be shaking. There'll be tremor. Lots of people do have that. Tension. You have tension in your body. Overreaction. You overreact to issues. Or weakness, you know. But all of this does not mean that you are weak. It just means that your nervous system has not yet learned safety. That's what it means. You were traumatized. Your body has kept those trauma. Your body is holding those trauma, but now you are safe. But you are still reacting to those trauma. Now, healing involves you gently teaching your body that the danger has passed. So, struggling with all of these things means that you are still holding on to the trauma is still in your body, you are still hosting it. So why are we having this conversation is that you should know that you are now safe, you need to heal, and you need to live right. So here's the truth that can change everything we have been talking about. Your trauma is not your fault. So if you can hear me, cut up on the comment section, on the chat. The trauma I experienced is not my fault. My trauma is not my fault. It's not your fault. I'm talking about what happened when you were a child. You were not guilty. It wasn't your fault that your parents didn't know well to protect you. They didn't know to show you love. And it wasn't also your parents' fault because they didn't know better. And that is why we're having this conversation. All right? But healing, now, the trauma is not your fault, but healing is your responsibility. It's okay to say, oh, it happened when I was a child. It's okay to say, oh, it's for my parents that didn't give me the support I needed and all of that. But now it is your responsibility to heal. And why? Because you are in pain. And you don't have to heal because you are in pain. You have to heal because you deserve freedom. You deserve freedom. You deserve to live a peaceful life. You deserve to enjoy this life. You have only one life to live. And this one life, you deserve to really, really live it to fullness of God's expression in your life. You were not broken. You were just wounded. You were wounded. And you need to heal. And wounds can heal. I don't know if you have ever had injury on your body before, and what happened? Over time, the wound healed. So you can heal. You can heal. I guarantee you, you can heal. Yes, healing is your responsibility. The trauma is not your fault. Healing is your responsibility, and you need to heal. Now, your past could have shaped who you are right now. Yes. Like I said, the childhood trauma, there have been extensive study on so many things that forms personality, but the childhood trauma also is part of what forms our personality. It shaped who you are today. It shapes why you are angry. It shapes why you are over perfectionist. It shapes why you are aggressive. It shapes everything that you have been doing so far, not able to trust people, not able to do so many things for yourself, always in pain and all of that, the cry, the midnight cries, the loneliness and all of that, the repeated poor relationship. Your trauma must have brought you to this level. But the truth about it is that your trauma does not define you. It could have shaped you, but that is not who you are. Like I said, it was a learned behavior. It was a survival tactic that your brain developed so that you can survive that situation. But this time, you're no longer in danger. So it's time to heal. And healing can happen at any age. Type on the chat, I can heal. Healing is possible. Healing is possible, and you will heal. Yes. Excuse me. Healing is possible. So what does healing look like? Let's look at what healing looks like. Healing begins with awareness, and I'm grateful to God that you are here with me today, whether you are watching this as live or you are watching this as a repeat video. So healing is start with awareness. So now you have learned some things that that whatever you are going through now is as a result of your childhood experiences. You also know that even though those experiences have shaped who you are now, but they do not define you. So you are aware. So what happens, understanding your pattern, you need to understand your pattern, you need to understand what triggers you, you need to understand your nervous system, and you need to involve yourself, you need to involve in self-compassion. Self-compassion. You need to love yourself, and then you need to reparent yourself. You need to reparent. Your parents might have failed you by not protecting you, by not being there for you, by neglecting or abandoning or whatever it might have happened. Like I said when I started this video, we're not here to blame your parents. We're not here for you to trigger any anger. We are here for you to be aware and to take responsibility to your healing, for your healing rather. So it's time to reparent yourself. Give yourself that parenting that your parent did not give you. Now, learning emotional regulation is very important. Creating healthy relationship is also very important. Now, some people are used to having toxic relationship, whether it is same sex or opposite sex. They are comfortable, or they just have repeated relationship that keep reminding them of their trauma. So you need to be intentional now. You need to audit your relationship and build healthier relationship. And let me tell you this, talking about healing is not an instant thing, it's a journey. Honestly, it will take time, but you need to start. You need to start that journey. It's a journey. But every step towards awareness is a step to safety. It's a step towards freedom, because you actually need to enjoy your life. You actually need to live a quality life. You actually need to go through a healing process with the knowledge you have acquired today. So I'm going to be closing now, and I want to pray with you that as long as you are desiring healing, you will find it. I pray with you that you have the capacity to go through this period, to go through this process, to heal, to enjoy your life, to live above your trauma, to be able to take responsibility and full charge of your life. Because it's a different thing for you to go through trauma, another thing for you to actually heal. And I'm talking here today, I've gone through a number of traumatic experiences, and by the grace of God, I'm still on the process, but I've weighed past a lot of I've healed to a great extent, and I believe that you also enjoy the divinity of God. Healing, it gives you peace of mind. You just enjoy complete peace. And I pray that you enjoy that peace from today henceforth, in Jesus' name. So if you're a Christian, yes, join me to pray. But this is optional. It's just for us to know that also healing is not, you can't do it alone. You need help. You need the help of God, and you need the help of men. So if all I've said so far, you see that there's a need for you to go through that journey. You may need a therapist to help you. You may join a coaching class, or you may get some resources that will help you to heal. So I want you to remember that you are not weak because you were hurt. You are not weak because you are hurt. You are strong because you survived. You went through that trauma, you went through that painful experiences, and you survived it. So you are a strong person. You are a strong person. I want you to know that you're a strong person. So tell yourself, I am strong and I am healed. And now you have the opportunity to heal. It's an opportunity for you to now start a journey to healing. Your story does not end in survival. You can't remain on the survival mode. You now have to start. Your story should continue in freedom, emotional safety, and wholeness. So I want you to know that the journey of healing may not be done alone. You may need help. You may need to get um, healthy relationships, good people, maybe a mentor, a coach, a therapist, resources that can heal you, that can help your healing process. Don't do it alone. All right. So I put in the description an assessment, um, a childhood impact assessment, which is a simple self-check to help you understand how early life experiences may still be influencing your emotion, your relationship, and your decision today. So in that assessment, you are going to, walk yourself through your present situation, and then the assessment will also give you the next step of what to do. All right, which may help you to you have clarity on what is the next step. Also in the I also drop in the link a link to a book that I wrote that can also help you, which one of the work we are doing on breaking the cycle of child abuse, parenting beyond trauma. It's a guide to raising safe, emotionally healthy children, and the link will also be put below, so you can get any of these resources to help you improve on your journey. So if this live session, this discussion has helped you as an individual, if you have really gained value, I would like you to subscribe to our channel. All right, subscribe to this channel, and then because we are going to be having a weekly, every Sunday, join me on this channel. Share with people who need this conversation. Share this video with other people. Subscribe and also hit the notification bell to remind you when we have any video that is posted. And join me every Sunday 7 p.m. West African time on this conversation on healing and breaking cycles of trauma. You deserve healing. All right, remember, every healed adult raises safer children, and every safe child builds a stronger nation. So choose healing, choose character, choose to be different, and see you next time on this